We're on the Homer Spit, and you would think we're within walking distance of the Orion right now. And I mean, from a certain point of view, you'd be right. But you can't walk that way and be on the ship. You have to go all the way around the marina here. And that's what we're gonna do, because there's a lot more to this little peninsula than just all those ships in the harbor. This is basically the touristy part of town. Arts and crafts and all sorts of little shops. Fair, they're mostly standard tourist shopping stuff, but it's a nice break from just sitting around and doing nothing. And honestly, these little shops are colorful and artistic in their own right. It's a place that you kind of know you're not going to be at again, so you might as well bring something home from here. But the best I can think of at this point is to just take some pictures, because most of the stuff isn't exactly our thing. I mean, these clothes are pretty, but you know, we don't have much use for them. The eating establishments have some appeal to me, but since there's none to Daniel, it's kind of pointless too. Besides, it's not like they don't feed us on the ship. And then, of course, there are the charters, which will take you out into the woods via airplane or boat and show you wildlife, allow you to fish, and we don't have really the time for that sort of thing, and it probably wouldn't appeal to either of us in any event. This place credit for the opposite of do-it-yourselfism. You hook 'em, we cook 'em. Okay. Fair. There's a lot of ways to get yourself turned around here. We wound up on a paved area that I thought was basically the backside of the boardwalk, but just basically turns out to be bordering the marina. And the storefronts are essentially turning their back to us, so this is not where we want to be. On the other hand, there's no hurry of getting back to the road. This little stretch of the spit doesn't have anything on it, and all there is here is parking lot, which I guess means that the population of Homer and probably some of the nearby towns, and there are some, by the way, just come out here, especially on a Sunday afternoon, to enjoy themselves. And this is the resort town. At this point, we're getting to basically the end of the spit. Well, not Land's End, that's way over there. We've been working our way inland from there. But this is the last stretch on which there's really any shops to speak of. And you'll notice something interesting. You've got a beach behind you, and then the shops are on stilts for when the tide comes in, or worse. I have seen signs both here and in Kodiak about tsunami warnings. So, yeah, it does sort of beg the question as to how we get there. But it looks like we've got an entrance over here. It is kind of odd to be walking on sand rather than stones. But that's where we are at this point. Still kind of amused by this layout. Back at home, you have bollards and barricades to keep people from getting too far in. Imagine what would happen if somebody advanced a little too far into their parking spot here. Well, it's nice to know that they've got these things official.
Sunken treasures.
We can head on over to the ship, but we do have quite a walk to go. In fact, I'm still not sure where the spit connects with the port road. And we better hurry too, because once again, it's literally starting to, well, spit. So we don't want to get caught in the rain. No jokes about liking pina coladas. Beyond this little section of boardwalk and the theater over here, there is pretty much nothing left to the spit as far as commercial operations. From here, it's about a 4-mile hike into town, and it's mostly forgive me for saying so, kind of barren wilderness, which I guess describes a lot of Alaska. But, you know, this is supposed to be in town. So, we're about to turn around and head towards the ship, but we do have a few more things to go past on our way. Yes, this is bait. Human bait. Just set out a cup of espresso and watch them come. I have to admit, I was intrigued by this simply because I saw books inside. Not that I would necessarily be interested in them, but when you wander in there, it's mostly hardware, marine hardware, and in part on consignment. It's a new business and just started up about a year ago. So they're still trying to get their feet. Here's hoping that with the marina being what it is, that they'll have their fair share of customers at some point. For now, though, we've got to make our way around, and we've still got a ways to go. I think you can barely see the ship in the distance. But hey, we still need to get our steps in. This isn't quite the same as walking in Kodiak, although at the moment we are on the shoulder of the road, and the Spit Road in particular has been pretty heavily trafficked in comparison. So now that we're on the freight area, we should be in better shape. The nice thing about the HOMER Spit is that you really can't be on the wrong road. I mean, if you're trying to get on the road to the ship and you're on the Spit Road, okay, that's the wrong road. But apart from that, there's one road on one side of the marina and one road on the other. You really can't be on the wrong road to speak of. It's just a matter of staying on it and keep going. Eventually, you're either going to run into your ship or you're going to drop into the ocean. Actually, I seem to have been mistaken. There is one access road heading directly toward the ship, and then there's this one that's going right along the edge of the water, so you can see all the view all the way into HOMER itself and the surrounding hills. And as we take the turn here, we can see sort of the mountains and glaciers on beyond us, except not really, because there's quite the cloud cover we've got here. It is a very low ceiling. One looks at this and goes, this is really beautiful, but also, where is it? It's very hard to see it all. This is the sort of luck you get when you're traveling, especially on a cruise like this, where you get one day in every port, and if the weather is good, the place is wonderful. And if the weather isn't, well, you don't really get a second chance to make a good impression. That's just how things are. I mean, and this is probably tempting fate to say it, at least it isn't raining. Well, as we head onto the ship from here, we might as well say bye-bye to the birdies for the moment. They certainly are noisy critters. And while I know Daniel doesn't necessarily approve, still got a little bit of this. Didn't leave you behind in Kodiak, but a few sprinkles here. Sure, this is more your folks' place than yours, but leave a little bit of you behind wherever we travel, and that's really what I'm trying to do here. Anyway, take care, honey. I'll check in tomorrow. See you in Seward.